We are professionals.
We never ever make mistakes.
I should this fucking thing off.
If we turned this off every time we made a mistake,
Okay.
the first episode just would have.
We wouldn't have gotten anywhere.
Alright. So, welcome to the Average Adventuring Party podcast, where the GM has to take the party's desire to adopt every NPC he introduces into account whenever he creates an unimportant background character.
As you should.
I would like to remind everybody that currently the party has 3 semi-adopted creatures with them.
Rip Egbert.
Yeah,
Egbert.
Cabby's gone.
you've got Brave, Suna, and Silent. Or Brave, Sonara.
We adopted you
Yeah,
with bacon.
I mean, the elves adoption are on the way up. It's just that she has to be a player character.
You're lucky I didn't want to try to keep the fairy. I wanted to
I'm-
try to keep the fairy.
I'm
Fairy was
honestly,
busy.
I was going to let you have the fairy until you made the remark of,
That I forgot to.
yeah, you forgot to free all the other fairies.
Yeah.
Then he became Frambo.
And then there was absolutely no way I was going to let you have 100 fairy followers.
I mean, we're totally planning on adopting Shannara and Ardith's dad when we get there. If you don't kill him off screen.
Oh, so be
And I
prepared for that.
want to remind you, I do have a pencil. And I'm sitting next to you. And not all of Ardith's rage is fabricated.
I totally have a centaur waiting for me somewhere.
Somewhere there's a half minotaur, half centaur child
Daddy!
asking,
What the hell?
asking when daddy's coming home, looking very confused every time he sees a maze. Listen, just because...
Half horse, half bull.
Yeah, it's the
No human parts of this.
it's the front end of a bull, the back end of a horse. He's like that Irish pug that can't run.
But everybody loves anyway. Come on, Luca.
Oh, you say that like horses can run themselves.
So, last time on this here fancy game, these guys figured out exactly what exactly how the obsidian statue was made, and maybe a few other details about its creation that they didn't know, and made their way south to the lake chasing the new water inheritor. When they got there, they found well, first Suna changed Galdrian into a seahorse for fun.
A pretty one, at least.
And boy, fun was had.
And he was fast. He got us here in no time.
Yep. Then she used her magics to give everybody else the ability to swim and breathe underwater. And the obnoxiously pretty seahorse.
Became a sea stallion.
Yes, he stretched his sea legs and helped these guys get to one of the underwater cities. Whereupon, looking at the magical tracking compass, they found the new water inheritor not in the body of a water genasi, but instead in a turtle, which is to say, a giant human, larger than human size, humanoid turtle.
Can you speak with animals at least?
Yes, I can.
We might need a translator.
Do they count as animals if they're people?
Well, if he's in animal form,
Oh, you're talking about Galdrian.
That's a very slippery slope, because in that case, all of you have speak with animals.
It's just they can't speak back.
Oh no, it's just you can speak with each other.
You can? Cool.
Yes. I can. I can. I can talk with a non-hostile animal or plant for a short time.
Are you not
He's
hostile?
definitely hostile.
Are you hostile towards me?
Frickin' seahorse!
Little annoyed.
I mean,
You know what I was gonna stop in this village and buy Suna a cookie.
It'd be a little soggy.
Now you just buy her a stack of dried kelp. Here, this is all you've earned. So, to whom would you like to speak?
Who am I talking? Oh.
Giant seahorse.
Whenever we start talking to people, you might translate for them so he can be involved. Because all they'll hear is bloop, bloop,
You can't
bloop,
just swim
bloop.
up and ask her to come talk to us? And then he doesn't have to be a seahorse no more.
Meanwhile, that turtle is moving away, going about her business.
You have a confused seahorse looking at you.
Pet.
Okay.
Iacus is going to start swimming to the turtle.
So I am going to cast my nature talking to talk to Galdrian.
What do you ask him? Or what do you say to him?
You're not allowed to be mad at a cute fox because I made you a pretty seahorse and you got us here faster. And secondly,
He blows bubbles out of his seahorse.
and
You are
secondly,
pretty.
here is the inheritor. How should I convince her to come with us?
You can't actually speak back, but you can communicate in all the ways that you can convey your meaning through anything a seahorse could do.
No pressure. Galdrian just kind of
Professor Spike is miming over here.
he's going to swim over and start writing messages with his tail into the sand.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, ask if she knows about inheritors. But it's taken a while because he's like,
Meanwhile, Iacus is he's sitting here like painstakingly drawing these out, and I'm like,
Yeah, Iacus catches up, and you tap this lady on the shoulder, and she turns around, and she's clearly a lot older.
uh-huh.
She has particularly wrinkled skin.
Mm-hmm.
And when you talk to her, nothing comes out but bubbles. And she says something back. You don't hear her. And then
I shrug.
she grabs what looks to be this long, thin reed out of one of her pouches and taps you with it. And you have this rush of vacuum and can hear now. And she says, "I'm sorry, can I help you?"
I'm sorry to bother. You might notice the obnoxiously pretty seahorse over there. And my friends, we're not from around here. But I think you're in grave danger, and we want to help protect you.
Oh, that's sweet. I'm fine here.
Can I ask you something?
By all means.
Did you recently, within, I think, the last week, my days have been running together, mysteriously get these tattoos?
She looks down at her skin. It is not tattooed.
Wow.
Well, no.
Wow. Well, that's odd. I don't know much about all of this. I'm fairly new. But I have this compass here that says you've inherited the water inheritor, rural spirit, something.
Oh, well, isn't that neat?
Yes, it is.
Let me take a look at that.
I'm holding on to it. I'm not just handing it over, but
She reaches over and tries to pull it out of your hand.
yeah, I've got it. But I can show it to you.
Yeah, she pulls it up closer to her face.
Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, well, that's pretty."
See, like if you move to the left, the dot here. Well, just take a step to the left and you'll see.
She kind of swims a little bit to the left.
Does it move a little bit and follow her?
A little bit.
See, it's pointing towards you. We want to figure this out would you be willing to come with us back to land so we can discuss this a little more easily? We have a chef that could bake you something.
Well, I have a few things to attend to here. If you would like to accompany me.
Of course, and I'll hold out my arm and
So,
escort the little Tortollan lady.
yep. So you two. Well,
I'll look back at them and be like,
at this point, we'll say Ardith gets to watch Iacus and this lady walk away.
Okay.
I'm
Galdrian,
arguing with Galdrian.
what messages are you arguing with Suna?
I can't ask her if she knows about the inheritors. Can't we just grab her and take her to the top?
Galdrian, like,
You
you've
wanna
never
kidnap
ever
her?
seen a seahorse roll its eyes before?
I've seen a real horse roll its eyes before.
And they go all the way back.
And he's going to just swim on ahead and try to catch up with Iacus.
Hmm? Yep.
Guess that's our cue to follow.
By the time you catch up, we'll say that Iacus, you've been talking, or I'm sorry, you've been walking with this lady for some ways, and every now and then she stops and like picks up a seashell off the seafloor, or she walks over to someone and talks to them away from you. When you look to your left, you hear Galdrian approaching, and he's got the body of a seahorse, and Galdrian's head and hair, and hands with flippers where his fins would be.
Looking a little rough there, buddy.
Galdrian able...
Yes, Galdrian is able to speak.
This is so weird. This is so weird. I was going to give Suna a cookie and everything. Now I don't know if I want to.
You might hold off on the cookies for a little bit.
Um,
Cookies are for good foxes.
you notice you can only speak when you're in the vicinity of Iacus. Like as you float back and forth, if you get more than a foot or two away from him, it just bubbles.
You should ask her if she knows Talia.
Well, she's doing some errands, but I'm trying to get her back up to the surface. She
Right.
doesn't have any tattoos, and she doesn't know anything about the inheritors.
She's a turtle. I've never known that the inheritors could be anything other than one of the elementals. So perhaps it works differently when it's not one of them. Ask her if she knew Talia.
Okay. Ma'am,
She looks up at you,
I'm
looks at Galdrian,
Kind of hides behind...
who's in the process of growing a pair of legs.
I am so sorry. I didn't catch your name earlier. That was awfully rude of me. I'm Iacus.
I'm, you can call me Pacha.
Okay, Pacha.
I am in the middle of a conversation, though. If you don't mind, just 1 second. And she turns back around and starts talking to whom she was.
If you've ever seen a cow
Look
Wait.
pensive.
awkwardly,
And by the time Ardith and Suna catch up, Galdrian has reverted back to his normal, obnoxiously pretty self.
can he breathe?
Yes.
Okay.
He likewise has the webs between his fingers and the gills. It seems that Suna's magic just took some time to catch up.
To readjust him.
All right, now I'm considering the cookie.
You look better.
Now there might be a
Do
cookie.
you feel better now?
So much
Sorry.
better.
He was hoarding creepifying there for a minute.
It was fun, and you were fast. You got us here faster.
To be fair, I like this better.
Right, well, she seems to be a little busy right now, but I don't suspect she knows anything. I was going to say we should ask her if she knew Talia.
Well, we don't want to interrupt.
Oh, yes, we won't interrupt, but we'll wait for the next opportunity to get a word in edgewise.
And after a couple of minutes, she comes back. She's carrying like a large conch shell. Said, "I'm sorry, I just had to find the perfect one.
Yeah, of course.
You need to be able to project."
Absolutely. As I said earlier, I'm sorry, I'm Iacus. What was your name? Oh, Pacha. I'm sorry.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Pacha. My name is Galdrian.
Oh, you look much better.
Yes, I feel much better.
Did you happen to know? So I was talking about the blue dot,
Yes.
and the last inheritor. Her name was Talia, I believe. She was a water genasi. Did you know anyone?
Well,
named-
I've known plenty of water genasi, and she just gestures around.
But did you know Talia specifically?
I think I knew her father.
Had a lot of tattoos.
He did, yes.
She got the tattoos after he passed on.
Oh, I hadn't heard he had passed.
Assuming he passed on.
Yes. Unfortunately, Talia passed away as well.
Oh, I'm sad to hear that, though I didn't know the girl very well.
Yes. Well,
She was quite small when she left here.
she was from here. Has the inheritor, she was supposed to pass on. She was supposed to pass on her abilities when she passed away, but I do not believe she had any next of kin. And this magical compass we have seems to be leading us directly to you.
Oh,
Do you happen to know why that might be?
well, I'm an old hand at magics, I suppose.
What do you do?
This and that.
What kind of magic?
It depends. Mostly, I keep the peace between my people and these people. Aid the sick. Tend the dying. Help the farmers, that sort of thing.
So we have somebody on shore that might need some help healing.
Oh,
Can you take a look at him?
I suppose there are other healers in the village.
But we prefer you.
Why? You don't know me. Just because that magic box of yours says I'm important?
Well, and because you're an old hand at magic. Experience usually bears the best results.
There are others more experienced at healing than I am.
But
But we have a feeling that you may be able to heal him a little better.
She reaches over and very gently, bonks you on the head with her staff and says, that's funny, but I feel you're just reaching.
well, she's only yay tall. She's always reaching.
Oh,
Well, we would like to, I think, introduce you to one of the inheritors who is with us, and perhaps see if there's some sort of significant magical trace or something. Perhaps being in close proximity with the lad will help us figure out some of what's going on.
I suppose.
Thank you.
Although, we're not taking you away from healing somebody down here, are you?
No, I was just making my rounds, as it were.
Okay.
Do you need any help down here before we take you up there?
Oh, no.
Okay, fantastic.
She says, I do have a few more people to speak with, though, so...
Of
By
course.
all means.
Isuna, when was the spell last?
I don't know. This was my first one. That's why I was testing it on Galdrian.
This is gonna be fun.
Right. At first sign of Finn's disappearing, we head for the surface.
I'm gonna look up. How far does it look like we're far down?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
A couple 100 feet, easily.
oh.
And you're probably 5 miles from the shore.
Would you, as she's walking, would you be able to meet us in that town? What was that
In
called?
Damas.
Gamas. And whenever you're done, because we want to head that way in case this doesn't stay.
Oh, certainly.
Why, thank you.
I shouldn't be terribly long.
All right, just so long as we can make it before nightfall, and the unpleasantness up above at night.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Don't worry, I'll meet you there.
thank you. Well, guys, y'all want to head back? I trust her.
Right.
It reminds me of my grandma.
I think she reminds us all of our grandmas. I never even met mine. Let's go ahead and head back.
Wouldn't surprise me if somehow Galdrian's grandmother was a turtle.
This really is his grandmother.
It takes you a long while to swim 5 miles back to shore.
With
Not
no
having the
seahorse.
Seahorse
No
Express.
seahorse?
Yeah.
When you get back,
She's waiting for
yes,
us.
she is actually waiting for you, and she is talking to Shannara and Silent and Brave.
Oh, did you help heal Silent? Are you able to help him?
Oh, the boy is fine. He's tough. And she looks over, and Silent, I don't know if we've talked about it, is particularly wiry. He's got some muscles, but not many, and he's very skinny. And
Scrawny.
Did you not see his wrists?
I'm afraid they're going to scar, but
But they're closed?
oh yes. And she just reaches over and grabs his hand and like lifts it up, so he has to stand on his tippy toes. And I mean, same as they were. It's just scar tissue.
Okay.
He said that his powers were very weak, though. I'm not one to know about mystical energies or anything, but do you see any way to heal that?
I suppose time. It's all very complicated. But
So, as we're walking out of the water and he's saying this to her, I'm gonna kind of yank on Galdrian. And hey, Galdrian,
Yes?
you're not mad at me, are you?
No, not anymore.
Okay. Well,
I'm
so
furious with you.
so I have an idea.
No, he will not turn into a turtle and seduce the old lady.
No. So Silent's tattoos are all of him making swords and crafting stuff and everything. So if she heals and helps people and stuff like that, maybe we gotta get her to do something like that and a tattoo will appear. And then maybe it'll show her. So go get her.
I'm already. Galdrian is still missing a few hit points from the morning, so
Mhm.
actually, I could use a little bit of.
Tender love and care.
Yes, if you want to put it that way, I could perhaps use a little bit of healing myself, if you don't mind. I hate to impose, but
She walks around you, does a circle. Just, you'll live.
Artist, cut him.
No.
Cut him.
No. Why?
Because you want to.
what?
You're making me
She sits on the beach and looks at you guys. I'm sorry, who's cutting whom?
Nobody's cutting anybody.
You are
Not.
duplicitous for such a small creature.
Yeah, she is.
Small stature, big attitude.
Tiny but fierce.
Well, I think our hunch is that. Well, you see this lad Silent, right? You see how he is covered in these tattoos, and Galdrian will kind of stand him up and show off his tattoos a bit.
Excuse me, I can do it myself.
Right. Show the lady the tattoos, please.
He rolls up one of his sleeves and he has all these tattoos down his arm.
We believe that perhaps if you were to practice, engage in your craft, that just as Silent has these tattoos of when he has been crafting things, perhaps you would gain a tattoo of your own Perhaps you are linked to the inheritors in some way.
I suppose.
I would
Let's-
volunteer if you want to try and lay some healing energy on me, just to test a theory.
Let's see. How about... And she points a finger at a bowl that's sitting in the sand. And when she points at it, it fills with water. She looks at her arms. Nothing there.
Didn't they usually appear when Talia had some kind of significant life event? I remember the goat appeared after that thing.
Yes.
She did what with a goat?
She exploded a goat.
Oh, no, I'm a pacifist.
Yes.
If it helps any, the goat was trying to kill her.
I'm
Well-
still a pacifist.
This time, we actually subdued a goat and helped it find love and begin a whole new herd. So I don't know what they're talking about exploding a goat. I know we gave a dire goat a new home.
She
And someone else a problem.
she says, I'm a simple woman. I don't do significant life events anymore. That all stopped when my late partner passed on some years ago. He was the adventurous one.
What was his name?
Oh, we just called him Shell.
Hacha and Shell.
Tell
How
me.
long were you all together?
Yes, I want to hear more about Shell.
Oh, he was the love of my life for nigh on 200 years.
How did you meet?
Well, when we were hatched, we found the water together.
And did you know then?
No, he was a stubborn and obstinate fool for years.
I've never known anyone like that.
I had to be the one to tell him what's what.
You certainly told him what was what, though, and you got 200 years out of it.
And you probably enjoyed at least 100 of them.
Oh, more than that.
Good. 'Cause
I can probably claim a significant portion of this village as my descendants at some point.
Well, you know, what's crazy is if we can't figure out what's happening with the inheritors, a giant red dragon is going to erupt and destroy this all. That's why we're asking for your help.
Oh,
And I know you may not be adventurous, but we would really appreciate it.
well, what would you have me do?
Heal me. Test the theory.
I suppose. Just a moment. She gets up, goes into one of the nearby huts,
Throws a potion at you. We're done!
comes back out, and she's got a bowl full of various roots and leaves and a mortar and pestle, and just starts grinding things up, and then says, well, where are you injured?
Right here. And there's still some teeth marks from yesterday, too. Like, I'm feeling better, but...
Oh, that's horrible. Hold on. And she just gets a big handful of this glop and smears it on there.
How does it smell?
Like, sea
Eucalyptus-y?
life?
Yeah, like it came out of the water.
At high tide?
You know. And she puts it all over there, binds you up. I declare you healed. And then looks at all four of you. Shannara just...
Yeah, Galdrian joins in. Claps as well.
Thank you.
Is he actually healed?
I mean, for all intents and purposes, you can regain your lost hit points. You can spend a recovery.
3 hit points.
It works surprisingly well.
She looks down at her arms and legs. Well, I'm afraid no change.
What about your back? You can't see your back.
She spins around.
That is rude.
She spins around, shows you her shell.
Anything?
No?
Hope it doesn't take Mariana showing up.
Would you
So
be
you can
willing to accompany us to the city of Lost?
That's a pretty far trek.
I know.
Oh, no. I'm not much for traveling these days. It's, the hips, knees. Wore them out when I was younger.
Gallagher will look it over with
Wink.
with shell.
Mostly.
Say no more.
Don't ask about the turtle wax. That's rude.
No. I'm much too old for that. If you could perhaps bring what you are wanting here, then I would certainly have a look at it. But
Well, let me see. You said you're an old hand at magic. Would you mind looking at something for me?
go on.
Galdrian is going to go into Ardith's bag.
You could have asked.
He doesn't ask. He just goes in, pulls out the statue, and presents it to Pacha.
Oh, that's very fancy craftsmanship.
Yes.
It's a little rough for my taste, but to each their own.
Has the plaster fallen off?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it went for a swim.
That poor bag.
Galdrian's loot.
Ardith has a sudden realization that all of her art supplies were in that bag.
Oh,
Oh, now they're covered with a fine layer of silty plaster.
She looks it up and down, points to the shield where that eyeball would be. Oh, it seems to be missing something.
And Galdrian will look.
It's just got that little seam where the closed eye is. Usually this has a heraldry or a banner or something. Just in my experience, the small races like to announce themselves.
I mean, sometimes it does.
agreed.
This particular statue is a magical item.
Oh yes.
It's necessary to seal the red dragon Kemet away.
Oh, isn't that already been done?
Well, it was done using this.
Oh. Well, why would you go do a fool thing like removing it then?
We didn't remove it. We found it in the field.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And I don't know how familiar you are with the stories of how Kemet was sealed away.
Oh, I've heard a thing or two.
They had to use the inheritors to do so, the original 4 inheritors.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a very happy story.
So we were just trying to protect you because you see the boy there? He was taken. And you see all the cuts and stuff that he has? That could happen to you.
Oh.
So we were just trying to protect you. We want to make sure you and him stay safe.
And this village doesn't get burned down.
Yes.
Mariana likes fire.
Well,
If she's not willing to go anywhere, could we leave? If she could magically allow him to breathe, could we leave him with her, and then we bring the other inheritors back to her?
that's... And she pulls out that conch shell and a small, what do you call it, scrimshaw knife, and starts carving into it. And while she's talking, and she says, "It's a bold assumption of you to assume that this is a safe place."
I was going to say, you might be condemning this whole village to die.
Yeah.
Because if Mariana comes to get them both.
No, just that an ill wind blows, and she just blows her, the dust off of it, and then points over her shoulder to, somewhere off in the distance there is a column of smoke somewhere to the east.
We had nothing to do with that.
No, but it's been some time since there was a fire on the plains.
Yes, this would be kobolds.
Oh. Those haven't been around in a very long time, young man.
Yes.
That's how he got those cuts.
And we want to make sure it doesn't happen to you.
Oh. I think I'm fine.
Oh, he thought he was fine too. Tell it, Silent. What were you surrounded by when they came and took you?
Silent looks up. He's just been kind of like fiddling with some reeds. He's made a little boat out of it. He goes, well, to be fair, I was asleep, so I wasn't really thinking anything until I woke up in that cage.
Okay, but who was protecting you?
Me specifically, nobody. There were just guards in the compound.
Okay, but how many?
I don't know, a few dozen?
So, and they still got through all those guards to get you.
I don't know. I guess so. I mean,
It is possible.
I'm here and not there, so I'm going to go with a solid maybe.
But see, anyways, Martiana got past at least
Oh.
24 guards.
Who's Martiana?
She is the fire inheritor.
Real.
Real piece of work.
She killed. What was the girl's name?
She killed Talia.
Talia.
Fire is like that, unpredictable and fierce.
Yes. So we're trying to protect you from the fire.
Oh, I'm quite fireproof. And she taps on her inner plastron on her chest. See,
It wasn't fire that she used to kill Talia. It was some sort of spell that cut her to ribbons.
oh, to ribbons, you say?
Yes.
Well, I suppose there are worse fates.
So
Galdrian's going to try to... He's trying to figure out, does she know more than she's letting on, or is she really, just kind of going with everything we say?
Insight check.
That sounds like a great insight check. So give me a wisdom.
I don't know why Galdrian's doing this with his
You
own...
want me to do it too?
Yeah, someone else might want to do this, but... Or not, baby, because that is...
10.
Yeah, that's a 13. I don't think any of
Nope,
my...
that's not going to be better. Hold
Nope.
on, 5.
It's hard to tell with her. She's not looking at any of you directly, as is. She's more focused on her work while she's talking to you.
ooh, 28.
28. Suna, there are a lot of the Fey elders in your woods, especially among the druids, who love to believe that they are, old and wise, and they like to speak in riddles, and that's clearly what she's doing. She's using roundabout ways to get you guys to divulge information to her. It's hard to tell if she knows more than she's letting on, but she is clearly leading you in the conversation.
Okay.
At which point she, just goes and blows off the dust off of this conch shell that she's carved, and then she takes her knife and just clips the end of it and says, give that a test. See if that does anything for you, young man. And she holds it out to Galdrian.
I've been thinking about taking up wind instruments.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll put it up to his mouth and blow.
Yep. You blow, and it lets out this deep bass note, and she goes, hold on. And she takes it back from you, carves out the opening a little more, hands it back, and just try it again.
And he'll take it and blow into it again.
It lets out a clearer, deeper note, and when it does, it's actually matched, we'll say, probably coming in from the northwest somewhere, by a very similar sounding note. And she takes it back and goes, you should probably attend to that then, and starts carving on it some more. A couple more of those notes come in, and then you hear a whole bunch of people yelling, and it sounds like a lot of people are running.
Right. We should probably get going then. That sounds very.
Something we have nothing to do with?
Why do we always go with that for our defense?
Because it happens?
It was very nice meeting you, Pacha. Sorry that we have to go in such a hurry.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other soon.
Right. Let's get going.
Where are we going?
Towards the
Northwest.
screaming.
Yep.
Towards the screaming?
Towards the screaming.
Yep.
Oh, so you step out of this hut, or out from beside this hut. And Pacha's still sitting there in the shade, just carving on this thing. You see a bunch of people yelling and like running towards the outskirts of the city. If you look that way, you see probably 200 or 300 people coming in, mostly elves, but quite a few Kijani, which are the plant people, various other races, a bunch of dwarves, and all of them are covered in soot and ash and look like they have been through the ringer. They're just carrying like the stuff that they have in their hands or over their backs or in sacks, whatever, and they're just slowly marching this way. When one of the people steps forward and starts talking to one of the turtles, you hear him say something about a lot of the villages to the east being burnt out on the plains, and this is mostly what's left. And the turtle acknowledges it and just welcomes them in, says they can stay in the village. At which point, like these sorry group of refugees comes in. One of the turtles yells out, "We have wounded. Does anyone know medicine?"
Right. I know medicine.
You step up, and Galdrian gets directed over to some groups of people who have a lot of burns and shrapnel injuries. There's bits poking out of them. As this flood of people comes in, we'll say that someone, Suna is sort of standing there, and at some point, someone just stands over her. And when she turns around, there's someone wearing a Sunchaser Sovereignty suit of armor. It is a well-appointed, but clearly, been through the ringer soldier. He's got the armor. It's got a falcon on the shoulder pads, and he's carrying a sword and a spear that he's using as a walking stick. It looks like at some point he was walking behind you and then saw you and then walked over to you and just waited for you to turn around. He looks at Suna and says, "Of course you would be here. Of course, in the middle of all this, you would be here."
I mean, I have nothing to do with what's going on out there. Nothing.
Let me give you a short summary of my timeline here.
Hey, Galdrian, doesn't that guy need some help?
So your timeline has nothing to do with me.
From what I can piece together,
The
before
chick is still alive.
before
Y'all burned down my forest.
I did no such thing.
Oh yeah?
Yes, I've spent the last year of my life trekking over most of the sovereignty trying to find you.
Oh, and look, here I am.
And
So
here,
you found me.
Here you are.
Yes. So you're good to go, right? You found me. You can go back home? Your family?
No. But if you would let me finish a thought. Everything here, from my understanding, was just fine until you and your group arrived, at which point utter chaos and pandemonium ensued, just as the general said it would in your presence.
To be fair, we just got here.
Yes, and look at things already.
But it was happening before we got here.
I don't think so.
I don't really care what you think.
I would really appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
I have had a very bad day.
Oh, you want to make it worse?
I would appreciate it
Uh-huh.
if you just came with me and my men, and we could leave.
Suna.
Oh, I mean, since you asked so nicely,
Suna.
maybe.
Is this man bothering you?
He's trying to be nice. He claims he has spent a good part of the year looking for me. Like I'm famous. Oh, you want my autograph?
You could, and he reaches in his pack and pulls out one of those flyers, the wanted posters, hands it over to you. I suppose you could sign this as means of a confession.
And I'm gonna hold it open.
Don't sign that.
But it's me.
Keep it. It's a good likeness of you.
I mean, that's true. And I'm gonna roll it back up and put it in my bag.
Right. Well, is that a yes?
Yes, for what?
Just to get this whole thing over with. And take you back so that you can have a chat with the general, and then we can leave this apparently self-destructing hellhole.
Wow. You're not very nice to these people that have let you come in here and seek help.
He looks at, the refugees that are still walking past. I think right now each of them owes me more than I owe them for having saved them, when otherwise I should not have.
Why did you save them?
Wow. Thinks very highly of himself.
Well, yeah, he may have been the one who saved them.
It's not every day that a creature out of myth and legend shows up en masse to burn down civilians.
We weren't in Overlook.
I was there when you left. I know for a fact that you were. But, be that as it may,
I think he's talking about the kobolds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, those scaly little bastards.
And so why are you blaming us?
Well, from what the people here told me, there was several hundred years of peace and prosperity shattered within the same week that you arrived, which, from what I understand, is basically your track record wherever you go.
He has a really good point.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, we do kind of bring a lot of death and chaos. And
Correlation is not causation.
yeah, of course not.
Regardless, I think it would behoove all of us to just finish this up.
Okay.
Yeah, so that means you're going to murder him now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
No. I'm too busy to do.
Well, murder him just a little bit.
Just
You
a
can
little
save
bit.
him later.
No, I'm Galdrian is tending to the wounded. He can't say anything.
He,
I tried to get Galdrian to come
Oh,
across him.
sir. She really wants to murder you. There's a lot of refugees here. Y'all can continue your hunt. It would be best for us if we part ways right now, because it doesn't end well for any of us right now. It's been a long day.
when you say that, he nods. I understand. And he gives out this really loud whistle. And a lot of people turn and look at him, especially the refugees. And he points at Suna and says, "This witch means to do me harm." At which point, pretty much everyone around him starts yelling at you, and a barrier 3 or 4 people deep just forms between you and him. And all of these people start yelling about how Kiyoshi saved them and how dare you.
Yeah.
And
Wow. Well. Okay.
and they're not going to let you hurt him.
So might I ask how he saved you?
Someone probably throws some cabbage at Suna and just hits her. Says, "It doesn't matter. He just did. We wouldn't be here without him."
Okay, cool. Let's move on now.
That man whistles again and steps forward. Says, "I think the odds are on my side. I'm fairly certain I have personally saved every person here more than once in the past day alone."
That's
Oh,
impressive.
me killing that horrible dragon did not save people? These people can't even tell me what you did to save them.
He steps forward.
You talk about me being a witch? Maybe he has you guys brainwashed.
Someone says, just like from in the crowd, some lady yells, "He saved my baby in front of me
Doing what?
from getting eaten."
By what?
So she says,
Kobolds eat my baby. I see it. I see it.
"You're welcome." She says, "From one of those monsters. He took my baby back."
And where is this baby?
She holds up the kid, and a bunch of people cheer.
Is it breathing?
Oh yeah.
Not anymore. You heard it. And
He says, "I think the popular opinion proves that of the two of us here, you're the only monster."
I mean,
just because we're not aligned with him
I know.
doesn't mean that he can't be a hero. I mean, he clearly helped all these people. I think
But he did it for the wrong reasons. He didn't do it to save you.
It doesn't matter. He saved us.
For his own purpose, reasoning.
Well, you haven't saved us at all, so that puts him ahead of you.
I just got here. How would I save you?
At which point, you guys hear a bird of prey screech,
Oh boy.
and you see this falcon kind of like circling the area. He looks up, sees it, and when he holds his hand up, it just lands on his arm, and it's got in its beak a little rolled scroll, and he flips it open, reads it, and goes, "Well, that figures. I suppose it's a moot point now." And he just tosses it to the ground in front of you and says, "I don't think any of us are getting out of here."
Why?
And then just walks away with the crowd.
pick it up, see what it says.
I'm gonna pick it up.
When you pick it up, there is a tiny little drawing of this delta that the city is in, and just a ring around it, bordering like from that forest all the way up towards that dig site, and then all the way on the other side of the lake, it just has in Elven kobolds. It looks like they are just surrounding this whole area.
This could be fun.
Mm-hmm. They're coming for dinner.
So now,
Where's the dinner?
Mm-hmm.
no, now we could be the heroes, and people will stand with us against him.
Or
Silent.
here's a crazy thought. Why don't we get his help and all these refugees? Because even if we spite him and we're dead, we're still dead. But everybody here will be surrounded and eaten by kobolds if we don't work together.
Silent.
I don't think you'll get him to work with you.
Silent says, "I mean, by your logic, wouldn't that make you just as bad as him? Because you're not saving people to save people. You're saving them for another purpose, and saving them is actually the
Who
secondary."
invited you to this party again?
I'll call out Kiyoshi.
We can multitask.
Wasn't it
he is,
Kiyoshi?
yeah, he is lost in the crowd.
Well, can I see over the crowd?
Yes, but there's several hundred people here.
Alright. I'm going to do something I haven't done before.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I'm going to activate my Leap on the Wind. Once daily, I can use it as flight. And I will just jump over the crowd in an improbable feat and land in front of Kiyoshi.
You land, and he goes shield and spear up.
Oh, hold. I mean you no harm.
That is a terrible way of showing it.
I know. It's the only way I could get here. I saw your scouting report.
Oh, well, then it seems like saving these refugees was for nothing.
We're not done yet. I know my little friend and you have your differences. I suggest we shelve that for now. I have fellow adventurers with me, but if we don't work together, we all die.
And what would you have us do? We are in a town of pacifists, from what I understand.
We are in a town of pacifists. I suggest we work together and utilize the refugees and make what defenses we can before they fall on us. While we may not be friends, we definitely have a common enemy.
Artist.
Mm-hmm.
He seriously does not think I'm about to work with that man.
Work with him out of spite. Spite is a beautiful motivator. You? Okay, so now look at me. You are going to help save these people. Iocus is going to deal with Kiyoshi.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to ignore his ass. Okay? He does not exist. He is not here.
It's like deferred murder, right? Deferred.
If a kobold eats him, oh well.
So I don't have to help him if a kobold is getting him?
That's going to be up to you. I don't think it's going to help you either way.
What if I accidentally include him in the Reign of Acorns?
I would prefer you don't. Simply because he's going to, hopefully, he will be handling, a part of the defenses far away from you. But imagine that all you want, though, okay? Him getting bonked by acorns.
Can I kill him afterwards?
Maybe. I'm making no promises.
Scoundrel gonna give me a cookie?
I can ask him nicely.
I guess.
I'm a crowd away.
Iocus, Kiyoshi's just staring at you. I suppose if we're going to go down swinging, we might as well do it fashionably. The rest of my men will be along shortly.
For the time being, so that we don't have to worry about one trying to kill or capture the other. Let's lay a truce until one day after the kobold attack, where none of my party will try to attack or harm you. We will actively help you, and none of your soldiers will actively try to catch us.
You have to understand that I swore a magically binding oath.
Of course.
I cannot make that promise.
Well, then we will be stationed on separate sides of the defense. That way you're not breaking your oath, and you're not tempted to fulfill your oath immediately.
I need you to understand. This is not... It's not going to be a problem. Because we are not going to walk out of here.
Oh, absolutely. But on the off chance that we're favored by the gods...
There is no off chance. These... I don't even want to call them creatures. They are far more devious than that. I can guarantee if they are that close, we will have an entirely different problem before we even see them. They are driving the natives ahead of them.
Which natives? I'm sorry,
The last village I was in was attacked by goblins on the run from kobolds before we ever saw our first one.
Wow.
So if they've ringed us in that thoroughly, in between them and us is an entire army before they even touch us. In addition, we were almost overwhelmed. We thought ourselves safe at night. And they have no qualms about being in the darkness.
Hmm.
So there is no running.
Fashionably, you say.
I'm certain it's only a matter of time before.
Very well. Y'all defend the north side, we'll defend the south.
While you're standing here talking, most of the other refugees have passed you, and another soldier, dressed very much like him, steps up, and she takes off her helmet, and he points at her and says, "This is First Fang Chiasa. She is my second in command. We will aid as long as we're able to. But I want you to understand that the moment there is an opening, the witch is mine, and we are leaving."
Noted. hope that we don't have to come to blows. It's
There
good
w-
to work with a man of honor.
There won't be many. And he takes his helmet, puts it on, gestures to Chiasa, who gives out a whistle, and that falcon comes down and lands on her shoulder. And they walk away. He starts calling out orders for refugees to start making makeshift barricades.
I'll find them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably dragged her off to try to let Galdrian and Shannara know what the hell's going on now.
I can just imagine this crowd, though, before that happens. Crowd packed out of nowhere, this flying bison just...
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Galdrian,
Hmm?
you have a situation.
Don't we always?
Yeah.
Shannara just gives out a laugh. Is that how we're describing it?
We have Sun Chasers, Avalanche soldiers, and in the
We're after our
crowd.
forest friend
I'm
again.
gonna be punching Iacus.
Ah,
How
my
in the
calves.
world?
Oh, no.
Can you expect me to
They
work
would-
with him?
They would like
I'm
to take
not.
Suna.
Give me a second and I'll
And
explain.
leave us to die.
Hold on, too many people are talking
Yeah.
about it. It's not going to be picked up on the mic.
So, right side go.
Yeah.
No,
No, because like none of that would have been good because that was over top of all of it. So we have to redo it.
I forgot what I said.
You have Sun Chaser Sovereignty.
Hmm?
There's
You
Sun
said-
Chaser Sovereignty here.
We have an issue, or we have a
Probably
situation.
got past that.
So, basically what it boils down to is Arda tells Galdrian they want Suna and will happily leave you guys for dead.
And do you also mention the kobolds?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in that case, things get a little urgent. Galdrian is going to try to take stock of the resources they have available and ask Silent if he's feeling up to putting up some defenses.
Silent shrugs, says, I'll do what I can.
Focus on things that would be able to shield people from fire. So nothing flammable. Perhaps something, some things made of mud that will harden.
He says, well, let me see. He goes to some of the turtles and starts directing them. They grab some refugees, and you can see them moving like a lot of the wooden crates and things like that could burn, like piling them up out of the way of things so that fire doesn't spread. He starts like drawing in the sand and starts talking over some stuff with them. Suna, meanwhile, is beating up on Iacus.
I'm going to tell the party what was discussed and what happened, and that they're going to try and betray us, and they're guarding the north side.
Of course they're gonna betray us. He spent a year of his life looking for me.
He also saved a lot of refugees, which can now help defend our back as these kobolds.
They won't defend our back. Because
Well,
they're with him.
They're going
They
to
want me dead.
try and keep themselves from dying, which we can count on.
But if they see a kobold attacking me, they won't help.
Oh yes, they will. I'm pretty sure they don't want a kobold to kill you. I think they might want to do the job themselves to make sure they do it right.
Also, if we see any falcon flying around, off it.
I like that plan.
Sorry, Forest Guardian, but off it.
I mean, I could possibly turn into my raven and fly around to see how close things are.
Which the falcon could then eat you.
Yeah.
Like so.
Insert GM shrug here.
Right.
But you just said they didn't want a cobalt to kill me. Why would they want their falcon to kill me?
Still confirmed kill.
Not to mention, do they know that I turned into a raven?
You did it the last time they saw us.
Oh. I mean, was he part of it? He might have been over there on the other side.
They probably share intel.
You know, elves, we all look alike.
Yeah, us Minotaur. Oh.
Us Minotaurs, if there was more than 4 of us left alive in the whole world. We all look up. Oh, wait.
We'll prepare defenses.
At some point, we'll say Iacus is off helping. Suna is off trying to figure out how she can secretly murder people without anybody noticing. There are a couple of times when you run into one of these troops and there's that moment where, they just stop and stare at whomever it is, because they clearly know who you are. They know who Galdrian and Ardith are as well. Iacus. You're all very memorable.
I recognize that ass anywhere.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything until he gets behind you, and then he's like, hey, wait a minute. No, we'll say that Ardith and Shannara are probably talking over some of her alchemical concoctions that she can pass out to people and how best to use that when Galdrian, you're walking by one of these huts and then falling in step with you is Erithus.
Nice of you to join us, Erithus.
Oh, yes, well, not exactly my doing, as it were.
Right, we'll need to have a word about your patron later.
Slippery bastard. But I couldn't help but eavesdrop, what with being confined to an immobile statue in one of your bags.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you for that swim. That plaster dust was getting mighty irritating. I would speak with you if you have a moment.
All right.
Privately.
Well, let's hear it then. And Galdrian will gesture to a more secluded area.
No. He basically, you go to walk away, and he goes to step as far away as he can from Ardith, and he can't take another step. He looks down, looks at you. I suppose this will have to do. I may have somewhat of a solution for you, if you're willing to listen.
Well, let's hear it out. Last time I went through all of this, you sealed yourself away to put Kemet back where he came from.
Amongst other things, yes. The boy. You can keep him safe and further your goals very simply.
I sense a but coming here.
And he is an expert on those.
Isn't there always one? It would require you to strip the boy of his powers.
But it would save him?
Yes, and give you what you need. It is more or less the same magic that I used originally in the creation of the seal.
What effect would this have on him?
On him? He will likely go on to live a normal, boring existence, not being targeted by any extra-dimensional beings or their agents. However, all of that is a moot point if he is eaten in the process. So I can only get you that far.
Right. Well, what happens to his power?
It goes into the statue.
And what happens then?
Then you will likely not see me again, because my energies will be required to bind it all together. And I suppose you would go get the others.
And take their powers as well?
You can phrase it as protecting them, if it makes you feel better about it. It's how it always worked for me.
I know you have regrets about the path you chose. You probably don't remember... You most certainly don't remember the time we spent traveling together It was another lifetime for me.
Well, this one has proven interesting, but I need you to understand, Galdrian, there was nothing I wasn't willing to do to accomplish the task I set forth to do.
Yes, this Kimmett's a real asshole.
Amongst other things. You may have seen him for the briefest of moments, but you never saw him at the height of his power. As disgusted or repulsed as you may be by my decisions, you, I think, have a good enough head on your shoulders that you would make them in my place if you were there. And you very much are.
Right, well, I don't think I'd be making any deals with your patron.
No. The magic is inherent to the statue now. It just requires the will to activate it and the understanding to know what you're doing.
This will not harm the boy?
I don't know. I haven't spoken to the original inheritors, as you call them. I can't confirm if it would hurt or not, but it will keep him safe. From that, at least.
And you think that by taking this power, perhaps the kobolds would sense that he is no longer here?
No. They don't care.
They don't care. They just want to destroy.
They are without leadership, so they become, I suppose you could call it, default aggressive.
Right. Well,
if you have not faced them yet, and he holds up a finger, do not underestimate them. They are clever. They have to be. They're hardy and vicious. They have to be. And above that, do not ever, ever let them near a dragon. Because once they are, they will be completely under his thrall and able to channel his powers directly through them, as if he was present himself.
right.
I offer you this freely as a token of goodwill.
Right. Thank you. At what cost will this all come if I take the boy's powers?
Well, myself, but I suppose that was never really up for debate. It hasn't changed. For the boy, I don't imagine much will change. He's only had it a short time. I think he could go about his life as expected. The other two will be your problem, because it's all they've known.
Well, I suppose it's worth a shot. I don't suspect that Martiana is ever going to give up her power willingly.
I don't think it will matter if you can get her near the statue.
Right.
Once, and then he again holds up his hand, he goes, once this process starts, there's no undoing it.
Well, you care to look out on this sky with me before we proceed?
I've seen enough of this place, I think. I appreciate the gesture, but no use delaying the inevitable.
Right.
I would give you caution, though, just man to man, as opposed to monster hunter to apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things in life are worth trading. Love is not one of them. He holds out a hand. I won't say it's been a good time.
Did you ever get a chance to drive her sword through that bastard's heart?
Oh yes. It's still there, as far as I know.
Right. If I ever see it, I'll try to reunite it with its owner.
I guess it's about time. Holds out his hand for the statue.
Hand it over.
It's still in my bag.
Oh, wait. That's right. I thought I took it.
He can't go.
No,
much
he can't.
further.
He can't go farther away from it.
Okay. So, Ardith,
Yeah?
we have a way to seal away Kemet without Silent needing to sacrifice himself.
Oh, really? You gonna You gonna elaborate?
He's going to need to give up his power.
You're gonna need to talk to the kid.
Right. Bring him over here and bring the statue.
Where is Silent?
He's probably over there helping erect some mud walls.
Okay. Your party.
Right. Galdrian will walk up to Silent and say, "Young lad, we need to talk."
I've got to finish putting up these walls. Can we talk while we do that?
Right. I suppose there's no point delaying it. So, our thinking was that in order to seal away the Red Dragon Kemet once and for all, the inheritors would need to sacrifice themselves. But it seems we have
What?
another option. Trust me, I did not like that idea the first time around.
I don't like it right now.
So, we have another option.
What is it?
You would have to give up your power.
Suna's gonna walk over just to listen too.
How? I mean, I can't really help you much if I don't have my powers.
Some things in life are worth trading.
But
You still have intelligence, you still have your skill with crafting.
I think the point he's trying to make is kobolds are coming, he can't help out with that problem if you do it right now. Among other things.
Well, I think he should be questioning why you're trusting some guy that just showed up for him to give away something he's had for... How long have you had the tattoos?
I don't know, like a year?
I mean...
And Erithus steps forward and says, with all due respect, this isn't your conversation.
That may be true, but I witnessed your eyes turn black and you killed some chick that you kissed.
Suddenly you have qualms about murder?
I don't murder those that I love.
Don't you, though? You seem reckless. You
I
should look
haven't
into
killed Ardith and Galdrian. I might kill Iacus.
yet.
But
You should look into taming that. You have a lot of potential, but you are using very little of it. You are all over the place. And this boy is as well.
says the man that shows up every time something bad happens.
Wow, who does that sound like?
I suppose that is a bit of a conundrum, seeing as I am not in places where bad things are not already happening.
Okay, let me throw this out to you, Galdrian. You're supposed to do it different this time around.
This
and
is
not,
different.
How is this different? You are trusting the same man as before.
This is a different solution than we arrived upon the
But
first
it's
time.
not.
It is much different. I watched this boy give up his life. I will not do it a second time if I can
But
help
you
it.
don't know what's going to happen. He doesn't know what's going to happen. He claims that he can just give up his powers and go on living.
Well,
We don't know this for a fact.
of the
Not to mention, things are different now.
7 or so of us here, I'm the only one who's done this before, successfully, I might add. So, there's that.
Successfully for only, what, a few hundred years?
According to what you've told me, it's several thousand.
I mean, that's true, I guess.
Regardless, I feel once those kobolds decide to close in, and he looks up at the sky, it's starting to get darker. There won't be time for this.
Well, Silent, I just think you need to think about this.
Silence as well. We can either do it and maybe something good will come out of it. Or if this is anything like those Falcon guys said, we're probably going to die tonight anyway. So he turns to Galdrian and says, all right, I'll do it.
Right then. Meet the statue.
I'll pull it out and hand it to him.
Just throwing it out there. If something bad happens, I'm the one that said it.
And Galdrian's, before he does anything, he's going to look at Erithus, and he's going to try to see if he sees the same man there that he saw his previous go-around, if he saw, like, the same... anything off about him.
If anything, he looks more resigned than last time. The last time you adventured with him, he didn't know a lot of this information. He didn't have a lot of his memories.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems like knowing what he knows is weighing heavily on him. So, same bearing, just he seems ready.
You should know, met a fellow from House Dubray.
Oh, how did that go?
I told him your story.
Well, nice to see at least one of my family continued on.
Hope that helps you ease into this ever after a little more soundly, old friend.
I'm ready. Everything I would have fought for is gone. So maybe it's time to let my star dim and another one burn bright. He reaches over and touches the statue, and when he does, he starts glowing. After a second, he just disappears, and the statue takes on, whereas previously it was kind of more of just a vague human in his shape, it now has his specific features, his little mustache and hair, his fine armor and shield and spear. Whenever that happens, Silent looks down. He too starts glowing. Then he gets brighter. The statue gets brighter. The statue starts glowing faintly green. And Silent cries out in pain and then just falls over and passes out.
The poor kid's head.
His tattoos have disappeared. You hear this voice coming up from the village, and it seems to be arguing. It's clearly Pacha. And she's going, "You were such a snotty child even when you were a child. I know exactly where they're at. Hold on." And she comes shuffling up. She's got this sort of energy that's circling her head. He goes, "I know your father was stubborn too. I am old. It takes a while." And she shuffles up to you, at which point this blue energy just leaps from around her head into the statue. "Well, you called my hand on it. I don't know what you got there." And she taps the statue, but they were most insistent on returning to it.
Right. Well, glad for that at least. We need to tend to the boy. He's been through a rough patch again.
"I'll watch him." And she just reaches down and scoops him up and slings him over her shoulder. We'll put him with the non-combatants.
Do you think we might be able to evacuate them underwater?
Oh, no. I have some friends in the lake. They've told me that they're already swimming this way.
Right.
Those that could have gone west, out of the water, or east to Bulib. The rest of them will be up here shortly.
Right then. Take care of yourself.
Most assuredly. She walks away. When she walks away, you can see now some of the fires are getting closer to the town, and there's actually at several points just like gazelle and what do you call them, meerkats, those kind of things that come running through the town. At which point you hear a very polite voice go, "Oh, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me," and a very tall, robed figure with a hood and a scythe comes walking through. He passes by you guys, stops, turns around, and goes, "Oh, very good. I found you."
Everybody's finding us.
Well, you're very popular people at the moment.
Apparently.
But I figured find where the most amount of casualties would be, and there you would be. And then it further dawned on me that if I couldn't take your souls directly, and he reaches up his sleeve and pulls out his stool and sits down and pulls out a cup of tea that's steaming. He says, "All I have to do is wait for them to kill you." "Oh, would you like a cup of tea?"
Yes, I would.
He hands you one, pulls out another. Says, "I'm very patient."
I see that. So you don't care what kills us?
No, as long as I can remove your souls from your mortal shells.
So what if
No,
I know of a guy
no thank
that
you.
you can have his soul?
No thank you. I appreciate the effort.
I think she's offering as a bonus
Yeah.
if
as
you
a
can
bonus.
collect.
I'm more than capable of sourcing my own jobs. Thank you.
Galdrian slowly reaches into his pouch. Pocket black dragon mask! Puts it on the guy.
You push the black dragon mask onto his face,
Did you try this before?
and he looks down when it falls off of his face. "Oh, you seem to have dropped this." Picks it up,
Ooh.
hands it to you.
I know who can wear that.
No. Let's not put anything from a dragon near a kobold. If we can
No,
help it.
but we can tell him it'll
Maybe
give him
later.
magical powers and it will help and he could put it on.
Wait, I have an idea.
Oh god.
Just saying.
Galdrian looks at the mask and he's going to say, "Aldamian, if you're listening, I'm not putting this stupid thing on, but if you give me a scale, maybe I can help you."
The mask does not respond.
It was worth a shot.
Go put it on the guy.
No.
Death appears highly amused by this, and that's where we'll leave off. I think is
We're about to die by kobolds.
an impending kobold invasion.
But if not, I get to kill somebody.
You're gonna make sure he's dead, aren't you?
Yes.
Death sitting there sipping a cup of tea, gleefully amused by the fact that he won't have to expend any effort to kill you. And that black onyx statue just glowing a gold and blue and green
Before it gets shoved into a bag.
before it gets shoved into somebody's bag.
I'm still helping build defenses. Nobody explained what was going on, and I'm just building defenses.
Suna only knows because she's nosy.
I am.
I mean, to be fair, Iacus is nosy as well. That's most of him.
Yeah.
With the little ring.
He can ring his bell.
Needs
Yep.
more cowbell.
So that's all I've got. Since we're now at the end of a session, you guys get to pick an incremental advance.
Ooh. Ability score bonus is on the table now, right?
Nope.
No. But that's...
Oh, is that?
Yeah, it's a fourth level.
Yeah,
Oh, is it fourth?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then yes, it is.
Wonder what I'm taking.
What does that mean?
+1 to...
+1 to any one skill or
3.
ability.
No, it's
3 bonus.
3.
Oh.
So you get these.
Uh-huh.
You can increase 3 of them by 1.
You can't increase the same one twice, I believe.
Correct.
Well, I'm sitting here with a 17, 17, 13, so...
Yeah. So if you would like to take that as your incremental advance. you
On
can
the even of a battle, it seems like a good time.
And now Galdrian has 20 charisma.
So, for instance, you could give yourself 20 wisdom, 14 con, and 16 strength, and up each of those by 1.
And y'all get plus 11 to my initiative.
Yeah, we'll have to recalculate all.
Yeah, I
all the
just
stuff.
reprinted this and...
So across the boards, I think that's what everyone's taking,
Yeah.
except for Ray, who looks conflicted.
I was trying to decide if I would like hit points because I'm so squishy.
Well, if you up your con,
You'll get more.
You'll get passively some more hit points.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to, but you can.
This will also refactor like AC,
Mm-hmm.
physical, mental.
Assuming that it's your middle one that goes up.
It'll now. How about con? So if your con goes up,
You basically get 1 additional hit point.
Per
Or, I'm
level.
sorry. You will get 4 additional hit points.
okay.
So somewhere on your sheet, make sure up here at the top you put recalculate. That way we can
Recalculating.
go through and
Recalculating.
because now like your spell casting, you get another +1 to that. You get +1 damage for all your things that get wisdom, etc., etc. So I think this will be our 21st episode.
We started with 19, 20, 21.
Yeah. It's a hell of a lot longer than I thought we would be able to do. I didn't know that we would be able to make it into the 20s.
Yeah.
Hell, I didn't even know that we'd be able to make it past the first episode.
You were like, first arc will be done by 15, if you recall.
Uh-huh.
Hubris.
I would just like to take the time to say these guys have done really, really well. Seeing as I kind of sprung the whole podcast idea on them relatively quickly.
When we went from firebombing everything to the next week, we were, destroying Overlook. I mean, we were never there.
Firebombing everything. The methods have not changed. I go through and I edit the episodes, and I kind of told these guys before the game.
Just gotta get rid of all the farts.
Yeah, I gotta get rid of all the
mouth stuff.
No, we add in mouth stuff. I edit that, but I listen to the podcast at the same time, and there's just a noticeable improvement. I still sound like a stuttering idiot, but we've all gotten a lot better. I could look around the table the first episode and just see looks of fear in everybody's eyes, and now like everybody's back talking me about every decision, and no hesitation. Other than that, we're gonna be adding some stuff to the website here pretty soon. We're gonna be adding some stuff to Patreon. We got a couple of new goals that we've been talking about. I'll put links to all that stuff in the show notes, so you can always find us in those places. We've said it before, we'll say it again. If you guys want to join Discord, talk to us, find us on Facebook, talk to us, Gmail, wherever. We'd love to hear what you guys think. We've gotten a little bit of feedback, not a whole bunch, but I would love to see reviews. Like Mike always says, if you like it, tell us. If you hate it, tell us.
If you just want Suna to kill more, tell us.
I have a feeling that's going to happen regardless.
If you want Iacus to be more impulsive, tell it. Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's going to be our $26 a month goal for Patreon. Is everyone will play their characters exactly the same way, just a little more so.
Stab, stab, stab.
Yeah, Ardith will stab like 1.2 times per round instead of just a regular one time.
I mean, that would be nice.
Yeah, every 5th round, that's a free stab.
Buy 4 stabs, get 1 stab free.
I
Alright,
do one thing during combat.
that's not
That's
true.
not moving.
Hey, you took plenty of stabs last combat. You did great. Off tank right there.
Having said that, that's all I got. You guys got anything? Nope.
Nope.
Nope. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see y'all next time.